welcome to the latest Clocked Gaming Network review. This game is Sniper Elite 3, which is produced by Rebellion. Now this game is a third-person strategic shooter set in the Africa campaign of World War II, and it's the third in the series of games where you're just a sniper going around shooting at various Nazis, so it's all great fun. Now I haven't played the previous Sniper Elite games, so I was coming into this game as a complete newbie, but I found simple things like the controls to be pretty straightforward and self-explanatory. They were easy to use as well. They weren't over complex. I mean, in a way it's your typical first-person shooter type controls. Now one of our subscribers actually asked me if this game was particularly open world, as though it's been touted as a very open world game, and yeah, I would say it's a huge game. I mean, it takes at least an hour to complete even the simplest of missions on this, because there's so much to do, there's so much going on, and especially if you play it on one of the harder skill levels, it really does push you to try really hard. I was also asked by one of our likers on the page about the bugs and glitches that the previous games had. Now, because I hadn't played the previous games, I can't really comment on those. But I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed this game from start to finish. So I really would recommend, if anyone's looking for a game like this, then go out and buy it, because it is actually it's a good laugh, and especially a good laugh with a friend as well. Now when I say it pushes you to try really hard, it's a case of they're not unrealistic. The AI on the game, I mean, they can be fairly dopey sometimes, but they're not. It's not a case of if you've got it on the hardest setting, one hit and you're dead and you're completely screwed and you have to start the whole thing again. It's a case of they do make mistakes like humans do, especially when you're under fire as well. They tend to panic a bit, another thing is when you surprise them, they end up it looks like they're trying to load their weapon, which I think is a little bit stupid, because if they're a trained soldier, they should have their weapon preloaded anyway. Now the graphics on this game aren't that great. I mean, I wouldn't say they're next generation graphics. I think they're more of last gen, but with a lot more anti-aliasing, and they just look clearer, but no really high resolution textures or anything like that. Saying that, it is a multi-format game, so it comes out on the PlayStation 3, it comes out on the Xbox 360, so it's probably more suitable graphically for them. I mean, apparently there are a few enhancements to the current next-gen machines, like the Xbox One and the PS4. So, I mean, it's not an unattractive game. It's just not really pushing any boundaries in terms of graphical oomph on this game. Now, I haven't had a chance to give the multiplayer a go, so I can't really comment on what the multiplayer is like on this, but I have played quite a few hours of co-op on this, and the co-op gameplay is absolutely fantastic. Now, I've put quite a few hours of gameplay into the co-op mode, and I can say it is a lot of fun. It's handy having somebody there to back you up, to spot Germans and keep an eye out for you, and and you're also doing the same thing for them, and it helps to push through the levels. But it doesn't mean that your game's going to be going through any quicker. I mean, it is still at least an hour for the missions. I think the only mission that really is quite short is the very first almost tutorial type mission, which takes maybe half an hour to go through. So my final thoughts on this game. The kill cam can get a little annoying, because unfortunately it happens a lot, but there is an option to scale it down so it doesn't happen quite so frequently. There are some very unusual ragdoll physics, where the Nazis sometimes fly off into the air and things like that. I mean, it's quite funny when it happens, but it obviously detracts a little bit from the immersion in the game and the realism. Also, I found a little bit of an annoyance with the sound, where you're listening out for the enemy, and they seem a lot closer than what they really are, so that kind of can be a little bit misleading. Overall, I highly rate this game, so go out and buy it.